just exited the train, and I'm like, ugh. As we were riding past it, it looked so gorgeous, and I was like, like I cannot believe to show you guys what this is. Got a cutesy little restaurant. We got a cutesy little building. Look at the cutesy little trees. Look at the cutesy little sky.
Oh, London no sora! London no taxi! London no eigo!
I'm obsessed. I think I'm gonna move here. Oh my gosh. This is the Van Gogh city, town, and I'm so hyped. Look! This is the garden that Van Gogh painted. I cannot believe I'm here right now. I am the only person here. So either the rest of the world does not care about Van Gogh, or I'm just ahead of the times. Because like it's all like set up for the people, but I don't know. I'm just gonna go explore. I'm like really lost right now, but if I'm gonna be lost somewhere, at least the scenery is cute, you know? Like, it's not the worst place in the world to get lost. Do you know they filmed an episode of Doctor Who here? I love Doctor Who. I think I want to be on Doctor Who sometime. What the fuck is my hair doing? I came to Paris like a month ago because I gave up on my dreams. Like 2 months ago, actually. I came here in the middle of December, and then I went home in the middle of January. And then I gave up on my dreams all over again because, well, like, I don't know. I was young. And I've been trying to, like, become, like, a model for, like, a very long time. Like, 5 or 6 years, honestly. And the only thing I ever, like, any of the feedback I ever got was always just people calling me weird, calling me odd. And, like, this is all regarding my appearance. They'd be like, you've got that odd look, you've got that weirdo look, you've got this unique look. It's just, I don't know. No one was, like, calling me ugly, but getting called not pretty for 5 years while also being consistently, like, rejected by modeling agencies, it, like, gives you, like, really odd whiplash, because all of your friends, all the people that you meet online, people will be like, oh my gosh, you have that alien, ethereal, unique look. Like, they would compare, they wouldn't, like, visually compare me to her, but they'd be like, you've got, like, that Anya Taylor-Joy kind of, like, unique beauty kind of thing. Like, I don't look like her, but the same realm of things. Anyway, I had gotten a boyfriend, and then we broke up, and it, like, really, really affected me. Like, he, like, broke up with me for very bad reasons. He ended up being really homophobic, and so, like, I'm glad I'm not with him, but, like, you know, I don't know. It was just, like, really weird, because at the time I identified as queer, and right now I'm going no labels, so I'm not going to identify myself as straight either. I'm just going to be myself. Anyway, but at the time I identified with the queer community, and him breaking up with me because I was in that community, it really shatters you, because, like, anyone who's like in the queer community who has discovered themselves in that way will tell you that it can become like an integral part of you, like, you know? And I don't know, I feel like I never really found that like community bond, but I was able to like, I still felt like that was kind of tied to who I was and my self-worth and stuff. And so when he broke up with me for being in that community, not necessarily us being like incompatible in any way, but just me being in the community was enough to for him to break up with me. And that like really shattered who I was, because I was like, wow, I can literally do nothing about this. He told me that there wasn't anything wrong with our relationship, but it was just the fact that I was queer. And so like that, I was like shattered, you know, like my whole like self-worth was shattered, because I was like, wow, this thing is wrong with me, you know? And it really like, I went through like a really big depression because of it. And because like as you do, like your entire identity shifts. And then I was also feeling really low self-esteem, obviously, because I just got broken up with. My self-identity crashed. I was trying to like model, right? And everyone was calling me weird and odd looking. And so like it kind of eats up on you, you know? And after like a while, I got another like setback, like a mini heartbreak or whatever. I can't even remember. But I decided to just go to Paris because I was like, nothing in Utah is working for me and I just need a break. So I came to Paris for a month and I went to try to model, because I was like, it's like not working in the US. Everyone says I have an edgy European look. So I'm like, okay, fine, I'll go to Europe. I was like, nothing is actually hard. It just takes a long time. And thus, I'm going to go to Paris and I'm going to model. So I came here and I met with one dude that I had actually been talking to. And he kind of like was being super weird. And he was like, I was like, okay, we're going to meet up and we're going to do digitals. And it's going to be great. And so I go to like meet with him and I'm in like digital wear. And if you know anything about modeling, you know that it's like pretty bare basic. Like you're not wearing any makeup. You kind of look like a mess, but like you're serving, you know. Turns out it was a fitting shoot thing. And so I just like went to the store and tried on all of their clothes for no reason. They didn't even have like a changing room. It was kind of awkward. And then they just took pictures of me with their iPhone. And I was like, oh, cool. And I didn't get paid and it was awful. And then he ghosted me. It was so weird. Which, like, to be fair, like, whatever. Because I didn't really speak French. He left early and the vibes were not there. But I submitted to all the other agencies and one of them got back to me. I was like, slay. I go there. He's like, it's actually a funny story. Like, I don't want you guys to think that he was saying this in a mean way. He was like, he's not calling me fat, by the way. He just says that I am 5 centimeters too thick around the hips for me to fit into most of the model clothes. But he likes me. He like wants my hair to be back to its natural color. And he wants me to get that measurement down. And he's like, if you come back in mid-February with all that stuff, we'll sign you. And I was like, worm. So I came back to America and I was like really determined. I was like, I have nothing going for me right now. But like in Paris, I like really focused on like finding myself and like moving on from my ex. So I was like actually doing pretty good and I was feeling good. I was feeling really confident. I had high hopes. And then I was like, no, I'm going to be sad. So I submitted my new digitals everywhere. And then, oh my gosh, someone publicly reviewed me. And they're like, you look gaunt, ill looking. You don't have a competitive look. you look sick, you look pale, you look like on the verge of death. And I was like, because like I am pale, okay? Like I cannot change the color of my skin, nor am I gonna artificially darken my skin when it doesn't naturally do that for beauty standards, you know? Like, I don't tan naturally in the summer, and like people who do, they oftentimes tan in the winter to keep up like their like preferred skin color just like year round, so they can be like more confident. But I don't tan, so like why would I like change the color of my skin for beauty standards, you know? And thus it be so. I was heartbroken again, and I was hearing nothing back from anyone that I emailed. And I emailed that agency that I met with, and they said that my hips were too wide, right? And I texted them, and I lied. I was like, after Fashion Week, I have a flight, and I'm going back to Paris. I didn't have a flight. I wasn't going back to Paris, but I just wanted him to think I was serious, you know? And I was like, I have done all of my measurements, and I sent him like pictures of everything, all the proof and stuff. And he's like, perfect, yeah, we'll take you aboard. And I was like, so then I went to Paris, and then for like the first half of it, I went through like this huge like anxiety up and down thing. Go in, he's like not talking to me, and he's like, you look great, perfect, yeah, we'll bring you aboard. I didn't print out your comp card, and I was like, shoot, he's not interested. I don't know, it was just like a weird up and down thing. He eventually did sign me. I signed the contract finally, and that's great and all. And it kind of like hit me. I was just like, whoa, my biggest goal for the last like 5 or 6 years, I completed it, you know? Like, I was like, what do I do now? And so I kind of decided that I was just gonna do more things, you know? Because like, I did all those digitals at a pretty high time in my life. Like, my self-confidence was good. I had started planning other things because like I was realizing that I was kind of doing modeling for a different reason than I had like wanted to. Like, it started becoming a thing out of spite. Like, I'm not weird looking, you know? Like, I'm not weird looking. Look, I'll prove it to you right now by being a model. And then I was like, I don't need modeling to feel confident. And I don't need modeling to be my biggest goal in life. And so, yeah, I made plans. I made plans to buy a car. I got a credit card. I made plans to move and to travel and to finish my degree. It was like such an interesting spot. And then I went to Paris. I'm sitting here in Paris now, and I've got signed, and I'm like, I still want my life to like, you know, come back. And I realized, I don't know, I was like, I can do hard things because it took me 5 or 6 years to do this one hard thing. And if it took me this long just to do this, that I need to do my goals no matter what, and I can do hard things. And just because I thought it was impossible to like actually become a model and actually like gain my self-confidence back and blah blah blah, I'm like, you know what, screw expectations, screw what other people think of me. I'm gonna do my goals for myself, and I'm not gonna care what other people think while I'm doing those things, you know? And so I created a giant big list of goals. Oh my gosh, it's so windy. I did a giant big list of goals. I listed out like 100 like just random goals. Obviously some that are going to be easy, some that are going to be like hard, but nothing is hard, it just takes a long time. And like I have the most random things on there, like become a polyglot. Do you think I'm going to learn like 5 languages? I'm already bilingual. Yes. Are you shitting me right now? Okay, you know what? We're going to walk and talk. So yeah, I'm going to do all of my goals, and I'm going to do them for myself, and I guess YouTube. They filmed a Doctor Who episode here. I'm so obsessed with Doctor Who. I like looked at the camera and I was like, that's in Doctor Who. That's in Doctor Who. Okay, well, yeah, I'm going to do all my goals. I'm going to become a world-class supermodel. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to girl boss. Yeah, hashtag YOLO, and I'll talk to you later.